And we're back with WSJ Lunch Break. I'm Wendy Bounds. Long live rock and roll? Well, maybe not. New research out looking at the longevity or lack thereof of rock and pop stars. Let's go right now to Ethan Smith. He covers entertainment for us. He's in Los Angeles. Ethan, give us the top line, the headline of this research that's out.
Well, the headline is basically, if your goal in life is to live as long as possible, you probably shouldn't be a rock star.
All right.
I don't think that'll come as much of a shock to anybody, but but it's what those telling us.
But finally, somebody has sort of quantified what we've intuitively known, and some of these stats are pretty shocking. I think nearly 40% of the deaths of the rock and roll stars that they covered were related to violence or alcohol and drug intake. Is that right?
That's right. Between I think the period they covered was 1956 to early 2012, yeah, they had some way of defining a star, and there were like almost 1,500 stars by their count in North America and Europe, and of those who died during the period covered, yeah, nearly half were from causes either directly or indirectly, related to those things you cite.
Now, I know they didn't release the full list of who they studied, but they did give a flavor of a few of the artists. Tell us about some of them.
Right. I mean, it's pretty much anybody you can think of. We can all probably rattle off a dozen rock stars who died, before the actuarial tables would tell you they should. Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Jerry Garcia, Amy Winehouse, you name them.
Whitney Houston, of course, a big one recently.
Of course,
yep.
Of course, Whitney Houston as well. But probably the most interesting aspect of this study to me was their observation that it may not be the case that being a rock star makes you die.
Yeah.
It's more like you're a rock star because you have these demons that make you die. And so it's sort of like, they're related. They found that there was a high correlation between what they called adverse childhood experiences,
right,
such as, physical or other kinds of abuse, and these early deaths. And they kind of pointed out, even limitless wealth in adulthood may not overcome, the kind of lifelong challenges of having a difficult childhood.
So bottom line is, if you want to choose longevity, then do not choose the profession of being a rock and roll star, and particularly don't be a solo artist. All right, thanks so much, Ethan. Appreciate that. More in the Wall Street Journal.